Have you ever wondered how a single act of kindness can change a life? In a world where we often hear that money can't buy happiness, what if I told you it could save a life? Meet Tom, an ex-military hero fighting his toughest battle yet against cancer. Struggling with extreme financial hardship, Tom's story seems all too familiar. But here's the twist. His salvation comes not from hard-earned savings or government aid, but from the unexpected generosity of a wealthy stranger. Intrigued? Stay with us as we unravel how this fateful encounter not only saves Tom's life, but also redefines the meaning of hope and human connection. Tom was once a proud soldier, having faced numerous battles on foreign soil. But now, he found himself in a different kind of war, a silent, personal fight against cancer. The disease had struck unexpectedly, a cruel twist for a man who had always been strong and resilient. Each day was a struggle, not just against the physical pain, but against the emotional and financial burdens that came with it. Tom's military training had taught him to endure, to push through the toughest of times. But cancer was a relentless enemy, sapping his strength and draining his resources. He spent countless hours in hospitals, undergoing treatments that left him exhausted and weak. His once muscular frame grew thin, his eyes dimmed with fatigue. Financially, things were just as bleak. The medical bills piled up, each one a stark reminder of the mounting debt. Tom had used up his savings, sold off belongings, and yet it never seemed to be enough. He applied for assistance, but the help was slow and limited. Friends and family did what they could, but he often felt alone in his struggle. Despite everything, Tom refused to give up. He faced each day with quiet determination, finding small moments of joy in the darkest times. A call from an old comrade, a visit from a neighbor, or a kind word from a nurse. These were the things that kept him going. His spirit, though battered, remained unbroken. As he sat in the waiting room for yet another treatment, Tom couldn't help but reflect on his journey. He had faced death before, but this battle felt different. It was a test of his will, his resolve, and his hope. Little did he know, his life was about to take an unexpected turn, one that would change everything. Tom's battle with cancer was compounded by the relentless strain of financial hardship. Every day, he faced a mountain of bills, medical expenses, mortgage payments, and everyday costs that seemed to multiply. The savings he had once relied on were depleted, and he had sold nearly everything of value. His military pension was barely enough to cover the basics, let alone the extensive treatments he needed. The constant worry gnawed at him. How would he pay for his next round of chemo? Could he keep his home? The stress was almost as debilitating as the cancer itself. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges, Tom held on to a flicker of hope. He remembered the camaraderie of his military days, the way his unit would band together to overcome any obstacle. That memory fueled his determination to keep fighting. Tom's friends and family rallied around him, offering what help they could. They organized fundraisers, set up a crowdfunding page, and did everything possible to ease his burden. It wasn't enough to solve all his problems, but it was a lifeline, a reminder that he wasn't alone. Each donation, no matter how small, felt like a message of encouragement, a signal that others were rooting for him. One afternoon, during a particularly tough week, Tom found himself in the hospital waiting room, feeling more defeated than ever. His thoughts were a mix of gratitude for the support he had received and fear for what lay ahead. It was in this moment of vulnerability that he met someone who would change his life forever. This encounter would become the beacon of hope he so desperately needed, illuminating a path forward when everything seemed darkest. Tom sat in the hospital waiting room, his mind a whirl of anxiety and fatigue. He was mentally preparing for another grueling treatment session when he noticed a man sitting across from him. The man was impeccably dressed, radiating an air of calm and confidence. Their eyes met briefly, and the stranger offered a warm, understanding smile. As they both waited, they struck up a conversation. The man introduced himself as Richard, a philanthropist with a passion for helping those in need. There was something immediately comforting about Richard's demeanor. He listened intently as Tom shared his story. The battles fought overseas, the unexpected cancer diagnosis, and the crushing financial strain that followed. Richard was moved by Tom's courage and resilience. He asked questions, showing genuine interest and empathy. Tom felt a connection he hadn't experienced in a long time. It was as if, in that brief exchange, Richard saw past the disease and debt to the person Tom truly was, a fighter, a survivor. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, and before long, Richard made an unexpected offer. He wanted to help Tom, not just with words of encouragement, but with tangible support. Richard explained that he had the resources and the will to make a difference in Tom's life. He offered to cover the cost of Tom's treatments, ensuring he got the best possible care. Tom was stunned. It felt like a dream, too good to be true. But Richard's sincerity was undeniable. For the first time in what felt like forever, Tom saw a clear path forward. He could focus on his recovery without the constant fear of financial ruin. This fateful encounter was more than just a meeting. It was a turning point, a lifeline that would pull him back from the brink and offer a new beginning. Richard's offer seemed like a miracle, and Tom could hardly believe his luck. True to his word, Richard swiftly arranged for Tom's medical bills to be paid and set up a fund to cover future treatments. The relief was immediate and profound. Tom felt a weight lift off his shoulders, a burden he had carried for so long that he almost forgot what it was like to breathe freely. With the financial pressure eased, Tom could focus entirely on his recovery. He received the best treatments available, attended by top specialists who were now within reach thanks to Richard's generosity. Each hospital visit, once a source of dread, became a step toward healing and hope. Tom's strength began to return, and with it, a renewed sense of purpose. But Richard's generosity didn't stop at paying for treatments. He introduced Tom to a network of people who could help him reintegrate into society. Job opportunities, counseling, and support groups were all part of the package. Richard understood that healing wasn't just about curing the body. It was about restoring the spirit and rebuilding a life. Tom was overwhelmed by the kindness he encountered. Strangers reached out, offering support and encouragement. He forged new friendships and reconnected with old ones, each relationship a testament to the power of community and compassion. Richard's act of generosity had a ripple effect, touching not only Tom but everyone around him. In time, Tom found himself not just surviving, but thriving. He took on a role as a mentor for other veterans, using his experiences to help others navigate their own battles. He spoke at events, sharing his story and the incredible act of generosity that had changed his life. Through Richard's kindness, Tom discovered a new mission: to pay it forward and ensure that others received the same chance at a new beginning. Tom's journey from despair to hope had transformed him in ways he never imagined. With his health restored and financial burdens lifted, he embraced life with a renewed vigor. Each morning was a gift, a chance to make the most of his second chance. He threw himself into his new role as a mentor and advocate, finding joy in helping others navigate their own struggles. Tom's relationship with Richard deepened into a genuine friendship. They often met for coffee, discussing life, challenges, and dreams for the future. Richard's unwavering support had been the catalyst for Tom's rebirth, and Tom was eternally grateful. He knew he could never repay Richard for his generosity, but he vowed to honor it by living a life of purpose and gratitude. Tom's days were now filled with meaningful activities. He volunteered at local charities, spoke at veteran support groups, and even started his own nonprofit organization to help others in need. His story resonated with many, a testament to resilience and the power of human kindness. He had become a beacon of hope, showing that even the darkest times could lead to a brighter future. Every person Tom helped, every life he touched, was a reminder of his own journey and the incredible turn of fate that had saved him. He often reflected on the past, not with bitterness, but with a deep appreciation for the lessons learned and the strength gained. His battle with cancer had been brutal, but it had also revealed the depths of his courage and the boundless potential for compassion in the world. As Tom looked to the future, he did so with a heart full of gratitude. He was alive, he was healthy, and he had a purpose. The hardships he had faced were now the foundation of a life dedicated to making a difference. Tom's story was one of rebirth, a powerful reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances, there was always hope, always a chance for a new beginning.